Hello, I'm Fred Rowe from Sierra Bright Dot Fly Fishing Guide Service. I've been teaching, guiding, writing, and lecturing on fly fishing in the Eastern Sierras since 1982. Well, let's get to this week's fly fishing report. Well, summer's in full swing in the Eastern Sierras. In the Owens Valley, it's getting hot during the day. So I'm heading up high, trying to find the cooler places to fish. So let's start with the upper Owens River. Man, hoppers are just starting to show up. I'm hoping we're going to see a big hatch, but it's still yet to be determined. What's going on right now? Still a few PMDs and a few little yellow stones. We're fishing those on the cut banks, in the riffles, looking for the rising fish. And we're fishing in the mornings from 8 or 9 to about 1 or 2 in the afternoon. By then, it gets pretty hot and the fishing slows down. Let's go over to Hot Creek. Hot Creek, it still isn't normal. It's still having interesting insect problems. Not sure what's causing it. We're seeing an insect that I don't expect to see till August or September, and that's the trico. And they're out good in the mornings right now. And they're providing pretty good hatch for the fishermen, and fish are feeding on them in the mornings from about 8 or 9 to about 11 or noon. And that's kind of what's going on there. We're doing okay with the nymph fishing down in the canyon, but again, if you can find the trico hatch coming off, fish it. All right, well, fished Rock Creek yesterday. That was fun again. The water's starting to drop, and we're going to see this as summer goes. It's going to drop more and more, get harder and harder to fish, and because it's summer, we're starting to see a lot more campers. Section I had been fishing by myself, starting to see a lot of other anglers there, so not as much fishing because of the fishing pressure. Still a great place to fish. Same thing up Bishop Canyon, that's fishing great. Same thing, we're doing good. Fishing dry on a dropper, Adams parachute, golden tearser, getting rainbows, browns, and brookies. I fished intake 2 this week using size 14 olive woolly buggers. Just nailed the stalkers in there. Nothing bigger than about 10, 12 inches, but man, was that a fun way to spend a morning fly fishing. All right, let's head down the hill, Lower Owens River. Man, it's hot by noon or 1, so I'm off the river by at least noon, if not a little earlier. So we're fishing out there, primarily Euro nymphing, some nymphing underneath an indicator. We're fishing in there with the Euro nymphing system, and I'm using olive quildigons, the stoner nymph, and a botano nymph up on top. And we're also using gold-ribbed hares and beadhead flashback pheasant tails in there. And again, that fishery's good till about noon, and it's not that the fishing isn't good. It lasts till about 1 or 2, but it just gets too hot, and I'm getting off the river. And then Bishop Creek Canal. It's getting a lot of fishing pressure, but it's still fishing pretty good in the morning. A little bit of dry fly fishing, but again, primarily fishing the Euro nymphing rod in there, and we're whacking it pretty hard. I'm using a green gold prince nymph, the stoner nymph, and the botano nymph, and we're doing great. And that's this week's fly fishing report, brought to you by Fred Rowe from Sierra Bright Dot. I can be found on Instagram or Facebook or on my webpage at sierrabrightdot.com.